just for my God. To the world still alive, to the lonely night, and I wait as good night.
The very essence of your presence, the times we were sharing in your residence. You could have all my dead presidents. You got me so emotional, untypical. You got me flipping up my logicals. Now I'm losing all my mentals. Without a thought or doubt in my mind, I give you everything of mine. Define love divine. Give me your trust, believe in me. You and I, till we die, can't deny. You know you'll be fly.
I don't know what I'd do if he leave, 'cause he's like the air that I breathe. His loving oh so sweet, make me weak, drop me down to my knees. See, yeah, I'll do anything for him, adore him, and put no one before him. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention, you're witnessing something like a drug, but it's called love. Love is a word with 4 letters, like all the bad ones, but this one's better. Way more deeper and much more clever, 'cause it's good but could turn bad quicker than the weather. Most people fear it, to some it's whatever. I'm one that loves love and don't think there's nothing better, 'cause love always been down for me, whether through God, my friends, or my family. Love.
Get down with the flow, I'll be bringing it on the go. Just throw your hands up in the air, let it go. What you wanna do when it's time to rock? Just grab your girl and brother, join the flock. 'Cause the time to get it on is now, and fly high to the bass and the treble and my, oh my. We be bouncing to a different groove, actually. We're doing what we love, it's my destiny.
I just dream of never just to my way. No, I got you in my way. I gotta do, I'll be your lover way. You just wanna do that thing. No, I love me, feel my God. I don't care. Let's go.
You make me love you, do you know?
Baby, won't you
Every time
be my
I
God?
look into your eyes, see forever.
I'll make
You
a wish
make me
away.
love you, do you know? I don't wanna let you go. Don't let me go. I'm his wifey, don't like it then biting me. He keep it gangsta, yeah, cooler than the iced tea. And his ice be cooler than the icy. Yeah, he fly, but he still treat me right. You see, I love him, and I never put no one above him, yeah. I'm his queen, so that make him my king. Love everything about him, he's the man of my dreams.
Reminiscing about the past, back in the day when you and I were one. Nothing in the world could cover up the sun. Looking up into the stars and wondering who we are. I'm living in the past, looking out for a glimpse of you. Searching high and low and asking why and how. The best thing in my life had to go, and wow, I'm left alone with an incurable condition for the last 5 years. It's my sole rendition.
Description of how I be ripping rappers, I'm vicious. Equipped with magnificent verbalistic linguistics. I'm not the one to trick with. I'm more explosive than mixing dynamite sticks with nitroglycerin liquid. My figure of speech unleashes venomous beasts. I'm a ridiculous creep with vigorous beats. Your clique could be admitting defeat. You get your face punctured like we were sparring, but I was kicking breath that I breathe. I mean every word that I speak. For every single person on this earth lurking the streets. Every fatherless child, those bleak, hurting and weak. I hope encouragement occurs from every verse that I leak. I've lived in pain, but I know it's people worse than me. So I pray for them and pray their prayers get reversed to me. Personally, I face adversity and curse defeat. When them curtains meet, I'm trying to be the first to lead my life.
Woo! Can you